Hey, it's Shay Seeking here with a video. This video, and I might just title it that, how do you control the masses, keep them confused and entertained? What I want to start off talking about is what the purpose of the channel is to provide information and get information from others who know that knowledge is power, unity is key, and perception is everything. So, we all like to use that term, the red pill, blue pill, and that we are in the matrix or some sort of a matrix. these these right here, these networks or stations or whatever you want to call them, there's more than this, but most of the things that the majority of masses watch are controlled by, I think, 5 or 7 entities. And when I say entities, it's me basically saying the power, or there is a something that you may not be able to even see that you think you see, because a lot of us think celebrities represent what the real entity that runs the networks and runs the television stations looks like, and it's nowhere near that. Those are just the puppets that they put in front of you to perform. So there's always something in the background. The same thing when it comes to your presidency and who runs the world and who runs the country and so on and so forth. So when we're talking about these stations, if these minds are hiring the same people to give you your news and give you other television shows and all these other things, and what they do is they sit around in these rooms and they use therapists and psychiatrists, and they use all these other different people to and writers and stuff to come up with the content that they share with you, the content that we think we choose to watch what we want to watch when we turn on the TV, but the whole fact of the matter is what you've been watching has been chosen by these 5 entities. Some of them believe that they're families that have bloodlines that extend way back in time, and that these people are connected to what is going on in these channels, because they are oppressing humanity, and they use signs and symbols to run the world, and a lot of confusion. And usually there is something that is good at the core of something, but they usually use indoctrination stations such as schools and hospitals. They can help people, but a lot of us, they're actually just helping you by keeping you sick and alive so that they can reap the benefits of you going back and forth for treatment while while they are treating the symptoms, not the actual problem. And this is why you can take a medicine. When you were taught when you were young, if you take medicine, you're going to feel better. We're going to get you on your way. But with these prescriptions that you have, they're actually treating the symptoms, not making you better, but you've been given the perception that you're being treated and you're feeling better. But you're going to have to be on this said prescription, for the rest of your life. So how is that? So this is getting off the subject, but I just wanted to let you know that these are the things that they've indoctrinated you with. And I hope I said churches in there, in religion. But you guys know that I do read my word, and the fact that I have not been indoctrinated so hard by Christianity and by religion, I have been able to crack a couple of codes, in my opinion, in the Bible that will bring the book into real life, into his story or your story that happened not so long ago, to try to I go through and I pull things to show you that it's very possible, because I don't like to tell you what I want you to think. I want people to think for themselves. So that we're very possibly the Bible is coded and is actually history. A lot of it in the Old Testament being the American history of the American autochthonous Aborigines that were here and found here by the Europeans prior to 1492. So, on that note, there's not all white people controlling this. Some of these people are mixed or black, or their offspring don't take after certain characteristics that they do. So when we say the white man this and the white man that, we need to be very careful, because a lot of these people that are in on this look just like you and me. So we've talked about that. Hollywood. This is because I'm a pictorial person, so it's easier for me to pull these things up and just go in a little bit, so you guys can kind of see where I'm coming from, and then maybe we can connect, because you feel the same way and you see some of these same things, because not everything that I say is right, but I've spent a lot of time researching, looking into these things. But hey, I can get all this stuff together, show you all these points, bring up all this information, and waste my time that I can be spending with my family, and doing other things that I would like to do in the future for indigenous peoples. I have a lot on my plate and I don't have time to do that. So I'm a visual person that kind of likes to run my mouth a little bit. If this doesn't work for you, then it might be a different platform that might work for you. Because what I don't want to do is sit here and cater to people and give them information that most people are not going to spend the time reading. They're not going to spend the time looking in. And a lot of us, people that are, I believe, I have a group called Autochthonous or Autochthons, oracles. I wanted to say sages too, but I didn't put sages. And I can't remember, but I'll put the link in the video, hopefully this time if I remember. And it's called Unchained, because we are breaking the code. We are not going with what people call education and thinking that that is the end all. We're not going with science and thinking that is the all or the end all of what we this information that's being presented to us. Some of us can just hear this and pick up on, we're already vibrating on that level, and we can pick up on these things, and we can use each other to tune in and fine tune the information and the knowledge that we're receiving, so that we can kind of dodge the hijacks, see through these things, and pull the important things out and get rid of the others. So mainstream education, mainstream anything is not going to be giving you the truth. These are the things that have led us to this point where we are heavily, the masses are heavily influenced, and have been, your mind and your body and your soul has been taken over. And this is why you cannot reach what I call the Christos, or that level of thinking that is clarity, that is discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and knowing. We have no room for belief at this time. We have no time for faith. Not saying that you can't use those two things, but faith alone is not, what does it say in the Bible? Faith without works is dead. So this is where we're at. We're doing the work. We're doing the research, and we would like for everybody to be doing it too. So in Hollywood, how do they control you? Well, first of all, they have a lot of A-list actors, and I'm gonna go more into biblical terms with this whole thing that stems back from the foundation of this nation, or the so-called foundation, because we already know it was already founded and there was a foundation here. And the funniest thing is, here we go getting off the schedule or getting off the subject. A lot of these things that we've been told that they came here and Indians were just crawling out of the bushes and climbing out of trees to come greet them, that's some bullshit. I know that it is. Puerto Rico, some of the islands, South America, even America. Some of these places that you think were just built in the 1800s and the 1900s were not built then. Some of these places are built a lot older. And I'm sorry to say, but when we're speaking of ancient Egypt, the term that they've applied to your perception to look as if we're talking about something else, I believe is right here in America. So These are just little these are just little plugs or whatever for those that's already in this way of thinking, and we're already seeing things. So I think that there was, just like there was royalty and castles and kings and queens over there in so-called Europe, Africa, whatever, the same thing was going on here. Some of these people had buildings, castles. Start looking around into some of the you that live in bigger cities or around bigger cities. Start looking at some of these buildings and stuff that you've been told are a certain age. A lot of these places were already torn down, but we still have some. And these water tower, so-called water tower looking things that we have, and some, I just look at a lot of stuff. So let's not even get off the subject. I'm sorry, you guys. I need to learn how to do this. Discipline. So, Hollywood. Not only from the beginning of theater and arts and all these things, what I'm trying to tell you is not only at that time when they said that women could not perform in the arts and they couldn't be on stage and they couldn't do all these other things, that they dressed men up and put them on a stage to play the parts of women back in the day. What I'm trying to tell you is that technology and surgery and all these things have gotten so much better over the years, and that you may have been deceived in the fact of thinking that a lot of your A-list actors and celebrities, there's plenty of channels that you can go out there and look at that will go into detail. I'm not going to spend my time doing it because that's not my not just right here in this video, because that's not my not to say that it's just, I'm more on this, dropping hints, dropping jewels and gems for people to take the information and go with it. There's so many other people out there doing it. You don't need me to go ahead and break it down the way that they can. And hopefully I can put a couple of there. And again, when I put these links here, listen to me. I am only maybe even telling you that I'd agree with a certain percentage that may be a real factor in the information that they're giving. I'm not saying that I agree with every single term and every single thing that they use. You shouldn't either. I'm not saying that I've watched every single video from this person. I've vouched for them for every single video. I say this to say that there might be some information that you can use within the video, and you have to see for yourself if that's true or not, if I present these people to you. So I've somewhat vetted these people, or else I wouldn't be putting their information in the links, or I wouldn't be bringing their names up. So I've vetted these people in a certain way. Not that you think that I'm somebody to be vetting somebody for you, but I'm just telling you that you might be able to use some of this information. So what I want to tell you is, and then when it comes to singers, there was a thing called castratis or castratos, and those were boys that were castrated at puberty or before puberty, and this helped their voice and their range when it comes to singing. And what I want to tell you is that practice has not gone anywhere, and a lot of these people are lurking in Hollywood, and since this is a tool that they use, they really don't care about you anyways. They just want to keep you entertained. They want to keep you confused. They want to keep you divided. They want to keep the nation in idol worship of these people or these beings that they use in order to, and they've sucked the souls out of them in order to put what they want and install the information that they want into these people so they can perform for you. And I want to say that a lot of these people speak out of terms, and it upsets me. Like I told you guys in the other video prior to this, to each his own. I just don't like the mass deception. And the fact that a lot of these women are, a lot of these women, I like to call them, are really a different being than us. Rather, they are androgynous, or maybe people say born that way or whatever, or they got surgery, or some of these people, you have to remember, were children when this happened to them, and they're doing it basically, them coming to the limelight saying that Jaden doesn't have a gender, or he doesn't, he dates whoever or whatever, and that excuse me, Charlize Theron is letting her child get the sex change and what. And I'm not saying that it's all the way to this point yet, but she's letting him transition in whatever way. Um, they want to bring this to you today like this is something new, but is embedded in Hollywood. And then we wonder why we've been subliminally trained and not, we have been subliminally controlled and entertained so much that we cannot even see that they've planted these seeds in the foundation of this nation, and it's been on our minds for generation after generation. They put little seeds in the videos. Disney, you know, be careful with that magic wand, because I was watching a video, and it's surely there with some stuff that I have, that I purchased. I used to purchase vintage stuff and resell it and stuff like that. But you can definitely see that there's a lot that they place penises and obscene images in these videos that we sat and let our children watch over and over and over again, and then we wonder why they are sexually explicit, or they do these things, or this, you know, now people are more talking about what gender and all these other things they want to be at a younger age, is because the seeds have been planted by these people with their entertainment. Sports. Okay. We don't really watch sports in our house. I have nothing against sports being used as something that is a physical activity. Somebody like me wouldn't be would benefit from a physical activity, and I used to love softball, and I think sports are great in that aspect, but on the major league level, they are detrimental to humanity. First, men, okay, and I never understood why the type of attire that they choose with football, the tight pants, and you know, I've just never really understood the attire or whatever. Okay, and then I look at the cheerleaders and I notice that a lot of them have Adam's apple. And I'm not, like I said, I don't want to tell you what to tell you. I'm just telling you to open up your eyes and you can see a couple of things and look at anatomy a little bit of the body of the male and female body, and you will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. So there's a couple of things that sex change cannot change, or that the injections that they take or the hormones or whatever cannot change. These are things that are obtaining to women and men, and they cannot be changed. So I started to notice that the men are in the tight pants, and then I also noted that a lot of these women, I'm just saying how it is because I've seen them with my own eyes, and most women that I see around me every day and at the grocery store, and like I said, at schools and whatever else I do, they don't normally have really long, strong necks, and a lot of them don't have Adam's apples, and a lot of them have women, whatever. Okay, so to each his own. You can look deeper in it, or you don't have to. And I think that just with the whole spending hours and hours and obsessing over the sport, and you have to buy these clothes that have these logos and these emblems on it, it's just, if we can't see what's going on, I just don't know what else. Purchasing these things that cost, jerseys and stuff that cost so much money and things, and then we go ahead and we bring these and ingrain these things in our children's heads, and then we want them to do sports and everything instead of learning survival skills or other things that can help humanity or other things, whatever, and then they're, you know, going into these sports, and I think that it's good for the activity, but then when you start pushing it into something else, I think that I just don't agree with it, and whatever. I'm glad I don't have to deal with it. So then they didn't put video games on here, but again, that's another way that we are being entertained, and I'm just saying something is entering your mind and obtaining it. Okay, so the music industry, okay, what producers, writers, songs, whatever, and the creepiest people are the ones usually in the backgrounds, in the parts of the industry that don't get, their faces don't get put out there publicly. And the ones that you do see are not really the ones that are running things and pulling strings in this industry. It goes way up. So with music, we have to start to look at the fact that um, a lot of the stuff that we try to say, oh, so-called white people do, there is an entity that, again, does not like humanity. It seems like they want a certain control over humanity as a whole. But on that note, there are so-called there are choices, more choices for so-called white people, and this is obvious, or this is, and it's not the perception. No, this is what it is. It's obvious because this is how it's been placed out, that there are more different choices for music for so-called white people, and there are more positive, upbeat things. Not saying that they don't have subliminals in the behind the scenes in those too, but what I'm saying is it's right in front of your face. They don't even have to put subliminals in our music. And we are the ones that purchase it. And if we didn't purchase the music that talks about bitches and hoes and slap your this and your baby mama and your booty and your titties, then how would the industry survive? So I did started getting, when I went through the steps of looking into this, I got to the point where I said, well, yeah, these movie stars, they can say no. They can say no. If they want, Beyonce knows she's worth this much money. She knows who she is. She don't have to, and somebody was telling me, I think before that, they have to conform to what is selling or they're not going to be in business. Well, for me, I just wouldn't want to be in business after 30 million and 50 million and all these other dollars that you're worth. What do you really need to do? I would just pull the plug and go live a simple life. But for some reason, these people can't do that. Contracts and other things, and pretty sure a lot of stuff that I don't know about. I'm just showing you stuff that I can kind of pinpoint or see. But at a certain point, there has to be a time when you have a moral standard where you're going to say, no, I'm not doing that. She doesn't have to do that. But she does have to do that because if she does not take off her clothes and twirl her butt and her twat in front of our face at the age she is with the children that she has and the status that she has, then she will not have her place. One of these young girls will be right there to pick it up. And they know that. And so that's why they are able to threaten these people that are starved for and some of these people, I feel bad for them because they were brought up from a young age, and I think they may have been affected by that whole transgender, androgyny kind of thing or whatever, and castrated males to females that we think are really females, and so we go about buying the makeup and doing our makeup like these women or these woe men. Most of them, I would like to even say a whole 75-90%. I think all, but I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt. That these A-listers or the people that are at those levels, the ones I'm talking about, are just what I told you that they are in the beginning of this video. And so I feel bad for them because this stuff happened to them and now they're growing into theirs, and this is probably all that they have. But like I said again, at some point in time when you're going to mess up your image, or if you want to, you just have to say, no, enough is enough, or that's not for me, or I'm not doing that. And if you can get out of your thing, I don't know how tight these contracts are or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that even if they can't, maybe it's time for us to say that we can't. And that means we can't purchase this music. We can't download it anymore. We can't listen to it on Pandora. We can't watch the videos anymore. We can't do it anymore because it's detrimental to our children, for their future. It's detrimental to us. There's no growth in it. There's no gain for us. And it's very negative and derogatory. And the women, everything that black men, so-called black men, have been through, black women, so-called black women, have been going through. And I want to say that I do believe that America was a matriarchal society, and that when the women have been pinned down so low, they're after the black men physically, but they're after the black woman's mind, her mentellect, or her mental. So, how much can a single mother with these boys in this world that they're being treated the way that they are and gunned down by the police, how much can she take? So you've broken the family up, period, and then you've left her for dead with these children, and then put these expectations on her, so she had to work herself and go to school and kill herself in order to provide. But we still here, and they still doing it. And everything might not be perfect with them and their children, but they're trying. And a lot of these single mothers produce some awesome, amazing children. I know several of them. They come from my family. But I know that there are also more of them out there that are doing the best that they can. And I would like to start some kind of thing. I wish we just knew how to unite. And even I don't know how to organize things like this. I have so many ideas I think are brilliant sometimes, but I don't know how to organize them and actually get them on the ground. So, but I really wish that we could start rallying around each other and helping single mothers in our neighborhoods first, and reaching out to them and helping them with child care for emergencies and things like this, and helping them out with last minute things like a couple diapers to last throughout the end of the week. You know, I just really wish that I could find some kind of way to organize something like this that can help the people out, and then start sharing that with somebody else in different places, so that we can start hitting these communities on a lower level instead of waiting for somebody else to do something. You know, a lot of these mothers just need a break, a breather, something for the children to do that doesn't cost an arm and a leg because she can't afford it. So, you know, I just really wish that we could rally. I would love to see a whole bunch of women, so-called African American or so-called black, but I know they're American Indians, rally together, not just for makeup or hair or fashion or beauty, but just for us, for healing, for the mental, for unity, for our children. How many, if we had groups, more groups with so-called black women together, and our children coming together at a younger age, how many of these things could we end with the violence that's going on, with the shootings that's going over stupid things? So that even if there are, a lot of us think that there are people coming into our communities doing some of this dirt and blaming it on us, and that could be possibly well. But if we don't unite and try to see that, so we can start pinpointing this and point it out and actually catch it going on, then what is it going to be? We can't be hiding our children in the house and making them afraid and growing them up in this type of mindset because of what some of these things I tell you I feel like are false flags. I really think that some of these things are false flags, and they're just put there so because they know that what we're going to do is try to hunker down and hide or run. And somebody put a post up the other day, what is black people so scared of? What are we so afraid of? If they already doing what they doing to you, what are you so afraid of? And the moves that we have to make, you don't even have to leave your house to make these moves. All we have to do is be organized, and all we have to do is be united as one, or a large group of us. We may not be able to get all of them, but a large group of us to make a choice. And of course, they're not going to give you the platform. They give other people that are leaders that have come and gone. Some of them, you know, I won't name any names in this point because all of them can give us information that's beneficial to us. But I think that at some point in time, they have a cap on what they can say and share and give to you. And this is how the elite, so-called elite, like to play games with us. And give us leaders that we think are going to lead us somewhere, when the real leader and the real Christos and the real Savior and the real Messiah is within you. It's a decision that you have to make, and then we have to connect on that note in order to see what this gift is that we can give to the people by this new mindset that we will have. So, again, a lot of these leaders, they have a cap on it. Who knows if they didn't, like I said, if they didn't, and a lot of these people have positive stuff to say, but again, they've been there for 60 years doing this, and nothing has changed. Nothing. They have been given the platform as well, and nothing still has changed, really. So then you have to question yourself. If something is going on for this long and it has not changed the people, what is it going? It's just like somebody bringing you in for a seminar, giving you the information to tell you how to sell houses and stuff, but they done sold 30 million houses. But everybody from that thing, first of all, is not, everybody from that presentation is not going to remember the information. They're not going to apply themselves, and they're not going to get the results. Okay, then you're going to have some people that are going to apply themselves and get the results, but they're still not going to get the results because that person didn't give you all the keys. They didn't give you all the tools necessary. That's when you have to put your own little twist on it. That's when you got to pick. That's when we as a nation of people need to pick up the torch. and keep running with it. So again, at the end of the day, all these leaders have some kind of information, and I believe some of them were being used knowingly, and some of them unknowingly, some willing and some unwillingly. But at the end of the day, they all woke up and tried to spill the beans, but at that time they were taken off the platform. And I think a lot of these people, I mean, some of them, we tend to think that a lot of these people were killed when they say that they were killed or they died or whatever, but I think that some of these people were just removed from our presence. Others may have died. I'm not saying every single one, but I think some of these people, we think that happened so that they can play on our emotions, and they've just been removed. Okay. So again, I'm sorry this video is turning out too long, but again, television. How much of it do you watch a day? How much do you put your children in front of it? How much do you actually just go outside with them and get some fresh air? How much do you actually do something to participate with the children, or that you do something outside of the house? Most of us so tired, so confused, so in pain, aching, going through all kind of stuff. All you want to do is put the TV on, just let your mind go out the door and let the TV come on in. But this has been going on for way too long, and I don't care if people watch TV. You know, I'm not trying to tell you not to watch TV and what to do, but I'm just saying, because I can watch it, but I have a certain mindset when I'm looking at it. So I can't tell you that nobody else has that either. But I'm just saying, the thing for us to do, I think, right now is to quiet down. We need to quiet down and listen to the voices of the ancestors. Listen to the voice of what we might want to call the ether, the source. Listen to what's within. A lot of times we go to sleep with music on. I was just telling my daughters the other day, we go to sleep with music on. We wake up in the morning, we got music on. We get dressed in the morning, we might be listening to something, watching something. We jump in the car, we put the radio on. You driving to work. I don't even put the radio on in my car no more. I just like to think about stuff when I'm going where I need to go. But to each his own. I won't knock you if you do. I'm just trying to tell you these are some ways that you can maybe detox the mind for a second. And then what do? You get you might have light music on while you're at work. Then you get in your car, you put the music back on so you're on your way home, and not knowingly that the people that made the music that you're listening to is the people that put subliminals in the music, and most of this music is trash and is degrading your women and if it's degrading the women, it's degrading your mothers, your sisters, your woman, your child. You know, it don't just stop there. So we don't make this video too long. Let me just move on to the religion. Now, signs and symbols run the world. I know that the actual word can have some truth, and the actual word most of the time doesn't even match up to what we've learned in religion or in church. I believe that the temple is within you, and they have given us temples outside of ourselves so that we can go there and get a feel-good moment, but nothing will change with us mentally, physically, emotionally, or anything change for our people over all of these years that we've been participating in these churches. Okay? I believe that, like the Bible says, that ye are gods, and I believe that there is a God factor within us. If we were created by him and if we're a part of him, then he would have to reside somewhere within our form. Also, the Christos, I think that they have removed it. When it says that the word became flesh, I think that they took something, turned this into Jesus, and then they have given you an idol to worship, which you should not be worshiping idols, is what the book also says. And then these days and these feasts and holidays that God hates, and we go ahead and do these things anyways, not knowing what the real story behind these helly days are. But I don't necessarily believe in a heaven or a hell either. If there was one, we're living in it. In the heavens is maybe something that is more of a mental thing. Okay. I do believe that Christ crucified was presented to us as a stumbling block. I'm putting together some stuff right here about this whole Christ crucified thing and why I say what I'm saying and why a lot of it makes a lot of sense. And what else do I want to say? I think that this whole thing with this Christ crucified in the churches has really been a real downfall. It feels good, but if there's nothing coming from it that's beneficial, these churches don't go out and really get nobody off the streets. Not saying that none of them do. You know what I'm trying to say. Our mindset is still messed up. We still just going there to be obedient and get through the work week and feel good at the. We still not pick. A lot of people don't pick up the book and actually read the word for themselves. And even if you did, your perception and your mental has been changed. This is why I like to tell people they didn't have to change that much in the book, because they have changed your perception of who you are, where you were, and what you here to do. You get that? So, these are the ways that they have taken the power away from you, and they have taken it and put it from the internal and taken it and put it externally. These two different things, the worship of the so-called prophet, which they don't really call him a prophet that much, but some people will say, and then or the savior or the Messiah, they've taken it out of you. Like if God created people, he couldn't send a message directly through the vessel itself. Do you see what I'm saying? So when this was done, I think there's some trickery that happened there, and this is what has really steered us down the wrong way. So when I come for this debunking these things that people gonna feel real, a lot of people just do a lot of stuff on information, but I'm gonna actually bring the word out and I'm gonna show you. And I just can't see why so many people in this world have been reading this book and they have not been able to see it this way. And I'm not saying that my way is right, but I'm saying that a lot of people that are coming into this awakening, it might be a reason why we see this a little bit differently and why I've been led astray, or we have been set apart in order to see. And the book actually says that this is going to happen, but I think they've given you the wrong perception of how these things are supposed to happen, like the rapture and all these things. And what we're actually going through right now might be that. And it doesn't mean you have to worship a God. I'm not trying to convert you to no kind of religion or nothing like that. I don't believe in religion and I don't go to church. What I'm trying to tell you is the word has been decoded a lots of times for me, and I've been able to actually bring it into reality with not the history from that, not that long. And remember, the first Bible that was printed in America was the Algonquin Bible. It was the American Indian Bible, and if that and it was the first one that was actually printed and was able to be given away to people. And then we didn't get the Bible until way later. So, just hang with me when I'm trying to tell you that it's not as old as you think it is. So on that note, this was a long video, a rant, a rave, whatever you want to call it. Just get in tune, listen to your heart, listen to the signals that's being sent through your vessel, and slow down and quiet. I know a lot of us still have to be in the corporate or in the work world or in school and all these other things, and not to mention these schools and us telling our children to go to college so they can get a good education and then get this good job. But now we're noticing that the jobs ain't always out there, and now your children are coming back home to stay with you after they leave college because they can't afford to do anything but pay off their student loans, which excuse me, they might be working for a lifetime to pay them off. That's why I say college ain't for everybody, but we were told that it was. So hey, if that's what you want to do it. But if your children didn't like school and don't want to participate in school now, don't go sending them there just because you think that it's the thing to do. There's trades, there's other things they can pick up. Entrepreneurship is something that our people need to be focusing on so that we can start getting some generational wealth coming in, and so that there will be something that you can maybe leave for your children, instead of telling them to go work for someone when there's a cutoff date for all those particular jobs, and sometimes it's sooner than you think. So we have to get that work ethic going again. A lot of these kids are brilliant. A lot of these children know a lot of things about computers and tech. The next person that could be giving us a platform could be one of these children in this high school. But we so busy, thinking that a child's place is here and adult's place is there, that we're not coming together and we're not able to vibe off of each other and get information and go back and forth. Some of the elders, is too late. They don't want to change their mind frame, the way they think, the way they see the world is the way they see the world. They think that is true and accurate, and that's why this movement is not for them. It's for us, the ones that is moving and shaking things up. And a lot of us don't even get out and interact as much, but At the end of the day, these platforms that we're on here, spreading the word, if that's all you can do is come out and pump out some good information that make people think, go ahead and do it. Do it from your home. Do it every day. Do whatever you like. Don't think that you're less of a part of the movement because you're not out there in the streets. Everybody playing a part, and it's going to all come together like a puzzle. You just have to be doing something. We all have to be thinking greater. We all have to be thinking closer, more trust, more respect, brother and sister, connected, unity. We all have to be just thinking that way. And I think that, we might not be able to see the glory at the end of the road, or we might not even be, whatever, but we're on that road. Can I say road to redemption? Let me not use that term because it slips my mind exactly what it means. Sometimes stuff sounds good and I just say it and it doesn't really mean that. So we're on the road to recovery. Okay. So, and if we might not be able to see it, at least our children or our children's children can see it, because we cannot continue on this road, or there will be no place for us left on earth. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.